Are these our new favorite open earbuds? Here's an unsponsored review of the SoundCore AeroFit 2. Namaste, we're DHRME, dope homies reviewing more for everyone.
Although it's medium sized, the case is rather flat, which will help with pocketability. The Knight Rider LED up front is a cool touch though, but it's very weird that it continues to blink for some reason, even though it's not doing anything. Around the back of the charging case, you've got a Type-C charging port and a pairing button. And there is wireless charging. For some reason, we don't see this very often on open earbuds, so great job SoundCore for bringing it back. Now, the battery life is advertised at 10 hours, but in our DHRME battery test, we got 12 hours with the AAC codec and 7.5 hours with LDAC. Yes, these buds support LDAC, and more on that later in the sound section.
You can get these buds in 3 colors. Black, white, and green. But for some reason, we got this blue one from SoundCore too. The buds are controlled using touch. Usually not our favorite method, but SoundCore has done a good job on these, with almost no latency between hitting the control and it registering it. You can do things like track control, adjusting the volume, and calling up your voice assistant. Touch controls are great, but what's the use if these buds aren't comfortable? The buds themselves are very flexible and well balanced. What do we mean by that? There's a battery unit in the piece that goes behind your ear, and there's the speaker unit that sits in front of your ear. Also, the angles of the ear hooks are large enough that they aren't likely to pinch your ears, unless you got Dumbo-sized hearing organs. Those ear hooks are also thin at 2.6 millimeters at the thinnest point. That makes it very easy to wear with glasses.
And the part where the ear hook meets the speaker unit can be adjusted. This gives you a more secure fit and also allows you to adjust the direction of the speaker unit towards your ear canal. This needs to be standard practice, guys, for these kind of buds. JBL, Toes, and a bunch of others do this too. An attention to detail is that you can leave the adjustment as they are while putting them back in the case. No need to reset them to the original position. In day-to-day use, we generally forgot that we had the buds on. That's how comfortable they were. If anything, the fit was good, but not 100%, and you notice that if you jumped around a lot. So for more calm and steady workouts, these will be fine. They're also IP55 dust and water resistance. That's seriously high rating compared to other open ears on the market. There is unfortunately no official rating for the charging case, so go easy on that.
How do the microphones on these Aero fit our popsicles, icicles, and test?
SoundCore AeroFit 2 in noisy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now we have the SoundCore AeroFit 2 in breezy conditions. Here it goes. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, test. 3.
Although you heard the whooshing of the cars, you could still hear Rohan speaking and making out what he was saying relatively clearly. The results were similar in the wind. You heard the wind, but Rohan's voice wasn't distorted. This means we really like the phone call performance on these buds. The Fuckman gets answer hang up and volume control. No mute gesture on the buds, unfortunately.
Now let's talk about extras. The SoundCore app, as we've come to expect, works well and provides a variety of customization options. You can change what the controls do and turn on a low latency gaming mode if you're into that. Besides that, these buds do support multi-point, so you can stay connected to your laptop and your smartphone at the same time, for example. In the app, you can see all the devices you've paired and enable or disable them. However, you will sacrifice multi-point if you use LDAC as your codec.
And there's no wear sensor though, so if you remove an earbud, it will not pause the audio for you. It may be less relevant to open ears, but it's definitely nice to have. So you'll need to pause and resume the audio yourself. Not great for us suffering from audio FOMO, eh? If you don't like the tones the buds play every time you touch them or when the battery is low, then you can turn that off as well. And speaking of turning off, there's an auto power off feature in case you forget and they're disconnected from your device. There's a Find My Device option which will beep the buds. There's no speaker on the case and no Find My like tracking here though. And when SoundCore fixes something, you get a firmware update in the app too. And last but not least, you can adjust the volume balance, enable 3D surround sound, and adjust the EQ. We have arrived. Let's talk sound.
Like we said, the biggest difference compared to previous models for us is that the angle on the drivers is adjustable to position it to get to the best sound possible for your ears. And boy, does that make a difference. But speaking of sound, these buds can get loud. I've listened to them at less than 50% in a cafe, and it was fine for listening to music. The sound signature isn't perfect though, and I thought that the default sound was too bass boosted, at least in a quiet space. We're still talking mid bass, mind you. There's no sub bass on most open ear buds, at least as of now. The good news is that these buds within the context of open ear buds can sound pretty decent. With the custom EQ, there's more flexibility in the sound. And even if you don't want to muck about with EQ, I kept bouncing around between the acoustic preset and the flat preset to balance out that bass. It sounded better and is an open and clearer sound. It also depends on where you are, like I said. For all open earbuds this applies. In a quiet space, the bass feels too heavy in the SoundCore signature mode, but maybe on the road, it's a different story with your ears competing for all the other sounds around you.
But these don't have any automatic EQ or volume adjustment, which is important for open ears. And also no volume limiting features to take care of your hearing health. The latter is something we definitely recommend SoundCore to make standard on all their devices. We like these open ears for casual music listening, which is, let's face it, all you should be doing with this form factor. What about LDAC though? Other than the hit you'll get on the battery life, is the difference in sound noticeable? Well, to us, yes. The treble is ever so slightly better. If you don't have big battery requirements, leaving these on LDAC is what we would suggest. The sound is a little bit better, and 7 hours of battery isn't exactly meager. But again, you will sacrifice multi-point.
If you want to see where these buds fit in a huge list of buds at different price ranges, well, we made a video for that. And another pair of open ears that are definitely a go from us are this video sponsor, Shox. At somewhat similar prices, the Shox Open Fit Air ticks so many boxes for us. A comfortable and secure fit, volume controls, multi-point connectivity, and an easy app, and super compact case as well as very thin ear hooks. Check them out in the description below and support the folks that support us.
So what's our conclusion? For $99, these are a go. You're getting great battery life, a strong IP rating, very good comfort and fit, and extra features like an app, multi-point, and even wireless charging. You just need to be okay with the bass boosted sound signature and the slightly large case. But for the price, SoundCore is competing in the right space. And they were one of our picks in this price category in our roundup video of the year that we suggested you watch.
A quick disclaimer guys, SoundCore sent these out to us for an independent review, so this is not a sponsored review. So we'll tell it like it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thanks to our YouTube members and patrons. In case you're interested in becoming one, we have 4 tiers, the Popsicles tier, Icicles, and these lovely folks in the Tested tier. And of course, a big shout out to our highest tier supporters, the Fuckman tier, Paula and Gamma Panda. You've been feeling too fit for the Aero, and we've been DHRME. Dewey.